On the water, radio check. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
Athletes, spectators, coaches, rowing fans, welcome back to the final part of our Southwest Junior Youth Championships for 2019. We have about 2 hours of grand finals scheduled for you, and we're about to kick off with the men's second novice 8. In lane 1, Capital Crew. Lane 2, Marina Aquatic Center. Lane 3, Los Gatos. Lane 4, Newport Aquatic Center. Lane 5, Marin. Lane 6, Long Beach Junior Crew, and Lane 7, Oakland Strokes. All right, here we go. 7 boats across. We've had a good start. All crews through the breakage area. And early on, just within the first 20 strokes, it is Capital Crew right along the shoreline. That is your early leader. Capital Crew sitting 4 seats over Newport Aquatic Center in lane 4. Newport 3 seats over Marin. Those are your top 3 boats, just shy of 250 meters. And at 250 meters, a little bit more separation between boats. Top crews, Capital, Newport, Marin. Now back to Marin. We're going to move out to lane 7. That's Oakland Strokes. They're your 4th place crew, sitting very, very near in terms of relative distance to Los Gatos. So Los Gatos and Oakland Strokes almost even with each other. A little bit of a gust out here, just right around the 500-meter mark. Nothing that these guys can't handle, but definitely something that a savvy coxswain is going to have to keep their eye on as we progress down the course. So again, a little bit of gust of water here. Los Gatos and Oakland Strokes pretty much tied for that 4th place position. In 6th, we're going to move over to lane 3. That's Los Gatos. And then in the trailing position, it will be Long Beach Junior Crew and then Marina Aquatic Center. Top 3 boats now pushing themselves away from the rest of the competition. Capital with almost 1 full boat length over Newport. Newport sitting 5 seats over Marin. About 1 boat length behind Marin in the 4th place position. Oakland Strokes sitting 2 seats over Los Gatos. So Oakland in 4th, Los Gatos in 5th. Marina Aquatic Center sitting in 6th. Long Beach Juniors in 7th. They are down by about 2 seats of open water to the Marina Aquatic Center. 750 meters to go. It is the hometown team, Capital. They're looking for that open water. I see the coxswain looking across at the bow ball. I know what she's asking for. By the halfway point, I'm pretty sure she's going to have that open water, and there she goes, pulling free and clear of Newport. Newport still not able to shake Marin. Marin right there, just 4 seats down from Newport. Great racing going on behind the top 3 boats as Marina Aquatic Center, Los Gatos, and Oakland Strokes battle it out for 4th, 5th, or 6th. Long Beach Juniors continuing in 7th, but keep your eye on Marin. Marin in lane 5, really putting on the afterburners here at 1,000 meters to go.
Well, thank you, Adrian, for that early call here as we resume racing this afternoon with the first grand final, men's second novice eights. Second level of novices here, but they're rowing like a lot of first novice boats here with great speed. Now, you heard Adrian talk about the Marin boat. The Marin boat slowly keeps taking strokes and water away from Newport. Newport fighting hard, stroke for stroke against Marin, but it's Capital out in front for the gold. So right now it's Capital, Newport, Marin, then separated by open water. We go back to Oakland in 4th place, then back inside to the inside lanes of Marina Aquatic Center in Los Gatos in a close race for the 5th and 6th place position. And then trailing is Long Beach. Long Beach in the last position here in this 7-boat race. At 1,250 meters, Marin has their bow ball at the 3 seat. So they're down 3 seats from the silver medal position. Capital has their coxswain in the bow ball position of Newport. So Capital almost has a bow to stern advantage over Newport. Oh, but just a bobble there. Capital caught a little bit of a crab. They lost a tiny bit of water, but they're back in it. And now they're about to break free, and they have open water. The Capital men's second novice 8 now with open water over Newport and Marin. Oakland continues in 4th. Marina Aquatic Center now in 5th, ahead of Los Gatos, and Long Beach in the final trailing position. At 400 meters to go, Capital has a little bit more of open water now. They're going to be along the shore, just now coming into the spectator area. Marin has been unable to move their bow ball up anymore. They're still at the 3 seat of the Newport boat. So Newport in that silver medal position, just holding off Marin. This event does not go to Youth Nationals, so this is the grand finale for these novice men. Capital, if they can hold on here, it'll be another gold medal for their program this weekend, and that's a huge statement for the future as these novice men become varsity after this race. Now Marin charging. Marin trying to get their bow ball up to the 2 seat of Newport. Newport responding now and moving away from Marin. So Newport saying, no way, you're not taking away the silver medal. We still got it. And with 200 meters to go, it's Capital, Newport, Marin for the top positions in the grand final of the men's second novice 8s, with Oakland chasing in 4th. Then back to Marina, Los Gatos, and Long Beach.
This one's going to come down to the wire. It's looking golden for Capital. Capital for the win. And Newport takes it by a bow deck over Marin.
And here we go. We've got a start for the men's third Novice 8 Grand Final. In lane 1, Marina Aquatic Center. Lane 3, Capital. Lane 4, Newport. Lane 5, Oakland Strokes. And lane 6, Newport B. We've seen a lot of depth in some of these big programs, and we're seeing that right here. Newport with 2 entries in the third Novice 8. That means that's their 4th novice boat, and I bet they have more at home and more that were in that freshman 8. And here they are out of lane 4, Newport already with a 5-seat lead at 250 meters gone. Next to Newport in the second place position, it is Capital. Capital sitting 2 seats over the other Newport boat, Newport B, out of lane 6. So those are your top 3 boats right now. Newport followed by Capital, and then Newport B. In 4th, we're going to look at Oakland Strokes. They are sitting with a 6-seat advantage over Marina Aquatic Center, rowing out of lane 1. So Marina in 5th. All boats still quite overlapped with each other. Except for that Newport A boat, everyone else still has really nice contact, good overlap, and there's a lot of intensity and ferocity coming out of those coxswains right now. I can hear them. There's something about novice rowing where the coxswains just get louder. But man, that Newport A boat at 500 meters, they're looking at a bow to stern advantage over Capital, but Capital also looking quite mature right down the center of the course as they handle a big gust of wind coming off of that starboard side. The coxswain telling them, stay calm, boys. It's going to be okay. They're still holding tight. They still have contact with that top Newport boat. So Newport A in the lead, bow to stern over Capital. Capital just inching a little bit farther away from Newport B and Oakland Strokes. Marina a little bit off the back in 5th. Meters, Newport A still sitting there bow to stern over Capital. That Capital crew is tenacious. They're not letting Newport get any farther away from them. So relative speed has stayed the same since the beginning, but these top 2 boats now have pulled clear of the rest of the field. So back to Capital by open water. It's a dogfight between Newport B and Oakland Strokes. Marina also still in the mix, so they've come back to take a couple of seats away from Oakland Strokes. Marina actually on the move. It looks like they're going to pull even with Oakland and Newport B. As we turn it over to Bob, it's going to be a race to watch for that 3rd place position. There is a medal at the end of this, and it's going to be anyone's to take between Marina, Oakland, and Newport B. But right now, Newport A, they have open water now over Capital.
Well, Adrian, good call on that. Yes, this race for the 3rd level of Novice 8s is getting closer and tighter as Marina in lane 1 is showing that ability to move up and challenge Oakland and the Newport B boat. So Marina now almost in a position, in fact, just past the halfway markers, Marina now moving into the bronze medal position. Now what's interesting is they're understroking the competition. They are taking longer strokes at a lower stroke rate, and it's working for them as they've got their bow ahead of both Oakland and Newport B. Now up in front, Newport A continues bow to stern ahead of Capital. So Capital still barely in contact with Newport A, but that Newport A boat continues to look over and keep an eye on that Capital boat in case they make a move. Now Oakland has made a charge. They are seeing that Marina Aquatic Center is a threat. Now up 3 seats over Oakland. Oakland trying to get away from Newport B and get some of that water back from Marina Aquatic Center. Marina staying pretty calm though. They don't seem rattled at all. They just seem in their own space, their own element. And guess what? Oakland just stopped charging and Marina is still going, and now Marina is bow to stern ahead of Oakland. So Marina looking solid in the third medal position right now, just as we approach 1,500 meters. Up front, Newport A still in the lead, bow to stern over Capital. And folks, just to let you know, lane 2 is empty, so only 5 boats on the course. Newport A still in the lead, bow to stern ahead of Capital. Marina, the easy-going, long-stroking, smooth-riding novice boat from the third level, they continue to take water from Oakland. They are just humming along lane 1 there, completely unfazed by anything else going on around them. And now they've taken the stroke rate up, and they continue to work away from Oakland and Newport B. So for the gold medal here, it's Newport A, Capital for the silver, and the ever-composed Marina Aquatic Center crew in third place for the bronze. And that's what MAC stands for, medaling at championships. $200 meters to go, and Newport will have another gold medal for their program. Capital, another silver medal for their program, as these two behemoth programs duke it out. Marina along the shore in control. They've got Oakland behind them in their pocket, and Newport B. 200 meters to go for Marina, and they've got that bronze medal, as Oakland's in 4th and Newport B in 5th. These are the men's third level novice 8s now finishing.
This is the finish for the men's third Novice 8 Grand Final. Newport for the win, Capital with silver, and Marina Aquatic Center comes in with the bronze.
All right, and we're back up at the start for the grand final of the women's second Novice 8 in Lane 1, Newport. Lane 2, Marin. Lane 3, Capital. Lane 4, NorCal. Lane 5, Long Beach Junior Crew. And Lane 6, San Diego. Now, in this event last year, it was Marin that took home the gold medal, and right now they're doing a nice job in that lead position out of Lane 2, sitting just in front of Newport, Newport being the silver medalist from last year. So again, every year is different in terms of novices and what kind of athletes you might be able to bring to the table. But Marin and Newport always doing a nice job in the novice categories, and they're showing that right here as they are the top 2 boats. So Marin now sitting 3 seats over Newport. Newport almost a full boat length over Capital. Capital also a large program that has an awesome novice team. And those are your top 3 boats at 500 meters. Marin, Newport, Capital. To Capital, sitting on the stern deck, it will be NorCal. NorCal sitting just a couple of seats over Long Beach Juniors and San Diego. Approximately 600 meters in, Marin has pulled free and clear. Marin and Newport have pulled clear of Capital for a little bit of open water. So top 2 boats really going after each other. Marin trying to shake Newport and see if they can claw away and get a little bit more space between them, but Newport hanging tough. And we've got a little bit more challenging conditions out here as there is some gusty winds. So the coxswains have to keep an eye on the conditions on the course and warn their crew, keep your blades very direct catches, a little bit slower stroke rate, not be so scrambly, Make sure that you're being as efficient as possible. And at 750 meters, Marin and Newport doing a really nice job of that. Marin still holding off Newport, but Newport taking a seat away from Marin's lead. Back to them. Capital continues in third. They're all by themselves there in that third place position. They've got open water on either side of them. They have pulled clear of NorCal. NorCal in fourth. Long Beach Juniors right there next to NorCal. Really good fight going on here between NorCal and Long Beach for that fourth or fifth place position. San Diego, a little bit of a deficit for them there to Long Beach. So San Diego continuing in sixth. To the front crews, though, as we approach the first 1,000-meter mark, Marin answering the call to Newport, but now Newport answering back. This is going to be awesome to watch up front here as Marin and Newport battle each other out down the course.
Well, that Marin boat, Adrian, has taken a move of their own, and now they're up 4 seats over Newport here in the grand final for the women's second novice eights. So Marin still on the move. They're now up 6 seats over Newport as we approach 1,250 meters. Capital is in the third place position. Behind them, by about 2 seats open water, are the teams from Long Beach and NorCal. Long Beach and NorCal almost bow ball to bow ball, holding off a 6th place team from San Diego. So the field is actually getting more spread out as we move down the lake here, with Marin, the second women's novice 8, showing a lot of composure like their women's varsity 8 yesterday. Just calm, sticking to business, one stroke at a time, wear them down. And that's what they're doing as they slowly take water away from stroking Newport boat. Capital in the third place position is by themselves at this point. They're open water behind the 2 leaders, and they're open water ahead of the 3 remaining boats from NorCal, Long Beach, and San Diego. Now, Adrian made a comment about the water. It is getting a little bit rougher out here. We have a unusual direct headwind on Lake Natoma. That's not the normal wind condition here, so the water's a little choppy, and it becomes important to get your blades in. If you're not getting the blades into the water crisply, you start ripping, and then the power starts slipping, and you don't go as fast. So no ripping and slipping for these Marin novice women as they keep the blades locked in and they drive the boat. At 1,500 meters, they're up now almost 8 seats over Newport. Capital still in third, with still an even race between NorCal and Long Beach for 4th and 5th place, with San Diego trailing in 6th. Marin sticking to their game plan now as they come into the overlook area. That's where all their fans are. That's where their boats are. They're getting a big shout out from their supporters right there, and now they are just about to break free and get open water over Newport. Newport along the shore in the silver medal position, chasing Marin. Capital alone in third place. They've got open water on the front and back end, so they're looking real good to bring home another medal for their women's program this weekend. Now that race between Long Beach and NorCal is starting to turn in the favor of Long Beach. Long Beach moving up several seats now ahead of NorCal for 4th place. San Diego continues in 6th. Newport along the shore, charging a little harder now, trying to get Marin back in their grasp. Marin holding on. Marin taking up the rate. Newport trying to match it. This could turn into a close race here. Now, at my last call, Marin was up by a length, but we're going to let Tricia and Aaron make that call at the finish line as Newport charges here after that first place Marin boat in the grand final of the women's second novice 8 with Capital in third.
And crossing the finish line, Marin, and then Newport Aquatic Center. And bronze going to Capital Crew.
All right, here we go. Grand final for the women's third Novice 8. Again, as we talked about in the men's programs, we see a whole lot of depth in some of these big programs with 2, 3, 4, 5 Novice 8s. Those coaches are doing something right because these athletes are so competitive at this level, and they're looking much more mature than your average novice athlete. And as we saw in the previous race, in the second Novice 8, Marin doing a nice job here in the third Novice 8, pushing themselves out to an early lead. Right next to them, it is Capital Crew along the shoreline in lane 1. Top 2 boats already with almost open water, and we're not quite at 500 meters in. So Capital and Marin going at it as we approach the first 500. In the third place position, we'll move over to lane 4. That's Newport Aquatic Center. Newport sitting just a couple of seats over Capital B. Sorry about that. So Capital with 2 boats out here. I believe Newport 2 boats. So we'll try and be clear about which boat we're talking about. So Newport A sitting just a few seats over Capital B. Back in the 5th place position, it's going to be Newport B, sitting a couple of seats in front of Oakland Strokes. So Oakland Strokes currently in 6th. All crews now at 500 meters gone, and Marin and Capital pushing themselves so hard that they now have about a half a boat length of open water over the rest of the field. The wind really putting a push at the backs of these ladies. So again, that coxswain has to make sure she's really focusing on blade work, direct catches, maybe a little bit lower stroke rate, and capitalize on the power. Don't let the stroke rate move the boat for you. It's all about power here. And that Marin boat doing such a nice job with just amazing blade work for a third Novice 8. They already have a full boat length of water, not open water, a full boat length over Capital. Capital also very mature here as they place their blades and really put their backs into it to drive that boat along. As we come past 750 meters, it is Marin and Capital way out front. Newport A continuing in 3rd, now pushing themselves up to a 7-seat lead over Capital B. Newport B and Oakland Strokes even for 5th or 6th. And as we often see out here on Lake Natoma, we've got a lot of wildlife, and a couple of geese have to get out of the way pretty quickly there as the Marin boat charges through. I don't think anyone was hurt in the progress, but definitely a little bit of a shock for some of those rowers. They seem to have not lost any sort of intensity or focus as they deal with the elements out here on Lake Natoma. So Marin and Capital way out in front at 1,000 meters. They're followed by Newport A and then Capital B. Oakland Strokes now in 5th, Newport B in 6th.
Well, the wind is back a little bit here on the normally very calm Lake Natoma. And when you get this kind of headwind, it's so important to swing to bow. It creates more momentum to help the boat fight its way into the headwind. So when you see these kind of conditions, the time is now to swing to bow. And that's what these novice women from Marin are doing. They are swinging to bow beautifully, as are the women from Capital, and that's giving their boats a little bit more push into the wind. They've got even more open water now than you heard Adrian call earlier, and it's because of that swing to bow. So the Marin women now with open water over 2nd place Capital, Second place Capital with open water, a good amount of open water over third place Newport. Capital B in fourth place ahead of Oakland. Trailing is the Newport B boat in lane 6 on the outside. So the pack of boats now has spread out pretty consistently across the field. The closest race going on is between the Capital B boat and Oakland. So they are in a close race. They're in contact with each other, but they are not, unfortunately, in a medaling position. So the Marin women continue their charge down the lake with that really good swing to bow, big leg drive, followed by a good pry, which is helping them fight the headwind. Capital in lane 1 continues in that silver medal position, pushing hard as well, followed by Newport A in that bronze medal position. These top 3 boats are now at or approaching 1,500 meters. And Newport A will be third across the 1,500-meter line. Oakland now making a charge to push up and challenge the Capital B boat. And from my vantage point, they have now pulled dead even with each other as they cross 1,500. So the Capital B boat has their hands full as Oakland challenges for the fourth place position here in the grand final of the women's third novice eights. Lots of spirit here, but also lots of depth for each of these programs for next year's varsity. In the lead, Marin, followed by lane 1, Capital, then Newport for the bronze, then Oakland in fourth, Capital B, and Newport B. With 200 meters to go, the Marin women are doing right now what they've done for the whole race. Slow and steady down the course, keep taking water, don't get rattled, and you will be successful. And they are only 150 meters away from another gold medal for their program. They're dreaming of their varsity women who won yesterday, and they are looking great right now as they can shine a little brighter as they finish this race.
And the gold medal will go to Marin Rowing. The silver to Capital. And Newport Aquatic Center taking the bronze. Attention in the spectator area. We have a vehicle that is parked in the park and ride or the drop-off area that needs to be moved. It is an Audi with a license plate 8GKL128. Thank you.
All right, we're already at 500 meters gone in the men's Open 4 final. This is a straight 4, so no coxswain in these boats. There is a high level of technical efficiency that's required to get these boats straight down, even on a buoyed course. So we're seeing a little bit of interference right now coming out of lanes 6 and 7 between Newport and Cathedral Catholic. Boats are now rowing again, but both boats actually had to stop and regroup, so that's unfortunate in this final only. Now, in lanes 1 and 2, those are your two leaders. Newport Aquatic Center, now with a bit of open water, over Capital Crew with open water, over North Bay. North Bay looking really strong here in lane 3 as they continue to inch a little bit farther away from our 4th place boat, which is NorCal. So NorCal rowing out of lane 4. In 5th, it is Marina Aquatic Center. They now have at least 2 lengths of open water between themselves and from Newport, so that's Newport B, and Cathedral Catholic High School. Again, a little bit of steering issue coming out of lane 6 and 7 earlier on that slowed their progress, but they are now both rowing cleanly, and all boats just past 750 meters. There is quite a spread between 1st and 7th in this race, and the boys from Newport just really putting on a show here as they are, this is some of the best rowing that I've seen all day. Amazing blade work, and just really making that boat speed pick up as we cross 1,000 meters in. They now have 2 lengths of open water over Capital Crew. Capital Crew still now with about a length and a half of open water between themselves. And 3rd place, North Bay. North Bay still holding off NorCal.
Well, thank you, Adrian, for that early call. This is such an interesting event, as this is now the 4 event done at the elite level at Worlds. They've done away with the coxed 4 and only row the straight 4. However, this is not an event at Youth Nationals. This event was created to help give the Southwest region more options to send 4s to Nationals, because if you have a top 8 and you know they're going to go, a lot of the coaches would put their top 4s into the Open 4 event, so some of the smaller programs could race their V4s and qualify for Youth Nationals. So here we are, we're seeing the leader way out in front, Newport Aquatic Center, rowing this boat, steering with a tow steer and doing a super job. They have open water by 2 boat lengths over Capital. Capital in that silver medal position here. North Bay doing a super job in their yellow Empacher. They're in 3rd place, holding off NorCal, which is down seats from them at 1,250 meters. Marina Aquatic Center is in 5th, followed by Newport B, and then on the outside, Cathedral Catholic High School, one of the newer scholastic programs in this region. Now again, all these boats are being steered either by the bow seat or the stroke seat with a cable system that attaches to a footboard that moves back or forth. So imagine rowing full power while having to adjust your foot to steer and also following a race plan. Very challenging, but they're making it look easy, especially Newport and especially Capital as they walk away from the field with lots of open water. North Bay doing a fantastic job here holding off NorCal. North Bay has the bright green stripe on their unisuits. They're in the yellow Empacher show. You'll see them as they just now prepare to come into the spectator area. All these crews fighting a light but stiff little headwind here as we come into the last 400 meters. And again, it's Newport, Capital, and North Bay in the top 3 positions for the men's open 4, which is also a straight 4 with no coxswain. Marina continues in 5th over Newport B and Cathedral Catholic. Now we should mention, Cathedral Catholic just had a major steering issue. They've ended up steering inside the course, and actually Newport B is steered outside of their lane, so they've swapped lanes with each other, but there appears to be no problem otherwise. Here comes the finish for the straight 4. It's all about Newport, Capital, and North Bay with NorCal chasing.
And for the gold, Newport Aquatic Center. Capital Crew taking on the silver medal. and North Bay taking home the bronze.
And we're awaiting the final countdown here for the grand final of the men's varsity 4. In lane 1, Capital. Lane 2, San Diego. Lane 3, Marin. Lane 4, Oakland Athletic Rowing Society. Lane 5, Pacific. Lane 6, Newport. Right, and all boats past the breakage area and just coming up on 250 meters in. It's going to be San Diego, your early leader here at 250 meters. They're sitting with a 4-seat advantage over Capital Crew in lane 1. Capital in second, 4 seats over Marin in lane 3. Those are your top 3 boats. On the outside, lane 6 also looking good. Newport Aquatic Center, they are sitting just 2 seats shy of Marin, so Newport in 4th. Back to Newport by bow to stern, it will be Oakland Athletic Rowing Society flanked by Pacific. Those 2 boats dead even with each other. On the outside, it is Newport Aquatic Center doing a nice job trying to catch up and take away a little bit of water from Marin. Marin's still in 3rd, but I'm looking at Newport as the challenger for that 3rd place position. At 500 meters in, it's still pretty early on, but Newport patient here on the outside as they look a little more calm and collected and try to take a little bit of water away from Marin. Marin, though, sensing that surge, they just took a 10, and they're now back in the 3rd place position, leading Newport by 4 seats. But back to the leaders, it's still San Diego. San Diego leading from the very, very start. They are looking at a 4-seat lead over Capital. Capital sitting bow to stern over Marin. Marin now 3 seats over Newport, but Newport right there. Newport chasing. Oakland Athletic Rowing Society pushing themselves into the 5th place position. They still have overlap with the 4th place Newport boat. So right off of their stern deck, it's going to be Pacific. Pacific in 6th, but again, still a lot of contact, a lot of overlap between all 6 of these boats. 750 meters gone, and there is not one crew that has made a big jump right now. These boats are still very tightly packed, and San Diego, while they're in the lead, they're looking at that lead shrink just a little bit as Capital puts on a big surge here, approaching 1,000 meters down. So San Diego in the lead, but with a challenge coming out of lane 1, Capital Crew. Marin still in 3rd, holding off Newport, Newport in 4th. Oakland and Pacific almost dead even with each other.
Men's Varsity 4 Grand Final now past the halfway markers. This is an event that goes to Youth Nationals. Top 3 boats get an invite. In the lead, San Diego in the red hull at 35 strokes per minute. Right next to them in the white hull, also at 35 strokes per minute, Capital. Capital now working up even to San Diego. It's too close to call for that gold medal position. Marin in 3rd, down 4 seats behind San Diego. Newport on the outside in lane 6, bow to stern behind Marin. Newport in 4th, bow to stern behind third place Marin in the outside lane. They'd have to make a big move to get into a qualifying position. Oakland Athletic Rowing Society working up now to a 4-seat advantage over Pacific Rowing Club in lane 5. Back to the leaders. Capital now up by half a deck over San Diego. These are the men's varsity fours coming at you. San Diego held the first 1,000. Capital made a move at 1,000 meters, took a little bit of water, and they're now up by a full deck over San Diego as they continue to extend their lead and their reach into the stern, staying long into the wind and not getting short and choppy. Marin getting their bow deeper now into the San Diego boat. Marin moving up with their bow ball now at the San Diego 2-seat. It's Capital, San Diego, Marin, Newport, Oakland Athletic, and Pacific. 500 meters to go. Capital won the men's varsity 8. Will they also win the men's varsity 4? That would be something to ring a cowbell about as they come closer to the finish line. Marin now has their bow ball on the San Diego coxswain. It's Capital, San Diego, Marin. Capital, San Diego, Marin. Newport still in 4th. Oakland Athletics now moving up to challenge Newport. Oakland Athletic Rowing Society down only 2 seats from Newport. Capital now out bow to stern. Bow to stern ahead of San Diego for the men's varsity 4. Marin with their bow ball almost even with San Diego. It's going to become a photo finish for the silver medal, but Capital has the gold at 200 meters to go. Will they win another top event here and qualify yet another boat for nationals? Oakland Athletic Rowing Society now even with Newport, moving into 4th, and now Marin moving ahead of San Diego. It's Capital, Marin, San Diego. Marin with the big move, taking the silver medal away from San Diego. But it's Capital for the men's varsity 4, a gold medal, an invite to nationals, with Oakland Athletic Rowing Society getting by Newport for 4th.
For the men's varsity 4 grand final, looking golden again for Capital. Marin with the silver and San Diego Rowing Club with the bronze. Those are your medalists for the men's varsity 4 grand finals. Capital, Marin, and San Diego getting an invitation to the Youth National Championships in Sarasota, Florida. Our next race will be the men's Novice 8 grand final.
All right, not even a chance to take a breath out here as the racing never stops at Lake Natoma, getting ready for the grand final of the men's Novice 8. This is the last opportunity for these rowers in their first year of competition to be a novice. They are rising varsity athletes after this event. In lane 1, Capital Crew. Lane 2, Newport Seabase. Lane 3, Long Beach Juniors. Lane 4, Newport Aquatic Center. Lane 5, Oakland Strokes. And Lane 6, Marin. All right, we've had a clean start here. We're just past the breakage point. 6 boats really very, very close to each other, but early leader jumping out of the gates with a hot start. That's Capital Crew. Capital Crew right now sitting 6 seats, and we're not even at 250 meters in. 6 seats already for Capital Crew. In the second place position, lane 2, Newport Seabase. They are sitting with just a couple of seats over lane 4, Newport. Newport sitting a couple of seats over lane 6, Marin Rowing Association. Just behind Marin, it will be Oakland Strokes, and then in the 6th place position, Long Beach Junior Crew. These boats still in their starting sequence. It's a series of very high strokes, followed by a bit of a shift in stroke rating, and then down to their base pace. And so they're getting into the meat of their base pace right now, and Capital Crew executing that race plan with a lot of maturity and poise. As they come to the first 500 meters gone, they've almost got an open water lead over the rest of the field. Capital Crew with their bow first across that line, and there they go. It's 1 seat of open water for Capital at just 500 meters gone. Newport Seabase right behind them. Newport Seabase sitting 6 seats over Newport. Newport 3 seats over Marin Rowing Association. Good battle going on between Long Beach Juniors and Oakland Strokes for that 5th or 6th place position. And really tightening up here between Newport and Marin for 3rd. I'm going to call it even for Marin and Newport for 3rd. Newport Seabase still holding on to 2nd. And Capital way out in front, half a boat length of open water for them at 750 meters. Now it's getting interesting for that 2nd or 3rd place position. Newport Seabase still in 2nd, but just by a couple of seats over both Newport and Marin. I'm looking at 3 bow balls almost straight across between Newport Seabase, Newport, and Marin. Long Beach Juniors and Oakland Strokes still dead even with each other for 5th or 6th. But now back to the front. Capital Crew, 1 full boat length of open water for them at 1,000 meters in. Newport Seabase still in 2nd, 2 seats over Newport. Newport now 4 seats over Marin. 1,000 meters to go.
Well, Adrian, this is unusual because most novice races, as they hit the second 1,000 meters, become more spread out. Most novice events shake out early in the first 1,000, whereas the varsity races tend to get tighter. This is the opposite. It's getting tighter in the second 1,000. This is great racing by these top novice boats. Now, what another great story for the Capital Crew program, as their novice men are way out there in lane 1 in the lead by a full boat length of open water. They want to emulate their varsity men and their men's varsity 4 that have won gold this weekend, and they're about to do the same. And that bodes well for the future of the varsity program. In that 2nd place position, lane number 4, Newport, they've got their hands full, as off starboard side, Marin is in contact with them in lane 6. And on port side, Newport Seabase is also in contact with them, down only by a few seats. Trailing on the backside, Long Beach and Oakland, down a couple of seats open water from this middle pack of Newport Seabase, Newport, and Marin. But Capital, the leader, up front, on fire. They've got the desire. They are all by themselves going after it here as they hit the 1,500-meter line, easily in first place. Newport at a high stroke rate, I have them at about 37.5. They are holding off a slightly lower stroke rate Newport Seabase boat, Marin at 37, as they come after Newport with 500 meters to go. Long Beach now moving up to 5th place ahead of Oakland by about 7 seats at 450 meters to go. Newport Seabase and Marin. It's going to be the close race between them for the bronze medal. Newport still in the silver medal position, Capital for the gold, and now Newport Seabase working up even more ahead of Marin with 3:50 to go for the bronze medal. This will be huge for Newport Seabase, as they are a program that is recently reorganized, and here they go potentially in a position to bring home a medal. But now Marin charging on the outside, the dark horse Marin pulling even with Newport Sea Base. Meanwhile, back to the front, Capital, get your cowbells ready. Here comes another gold medal boat with Newport for the silver. Newport Sea Base charging back ahead of Marin. Marin in fourth, Long Beach fifth, and Oakland sixth for the men's Novice 8A Grand Final finish.
Once again, looking golden for Capital Crew. Capital with the win. Newport with the silver, and unofficially Marin for the bronze. That was a photo finish. We'll let you know the official results once they're released. That was the finish for the men's Novice 8 Grand Final. Next will be the women's Varsity 4 Grand Final.
All right, and we've had a start in the grand final of the women's Varsity 4. 6 lanes across. We've got lane 1, Marin. Lane 2, Marina Aquatic Center. Lane 3, Oakland Strokes. Lane 4, Newport Aquatic Center. Lane 5, Pacific. And lane 6, Capital Crew. Now in this event last year, Oakland Strokes was your champion, followed by Capital Crew and then Marina Aquatic Center. Marina Aquatic Center went on to the Youth National Championships and eventually earned a 4th place finish in the nation. So we know that there is a lot of depth in these varsity programs. And whatever the strategy is for the coaches, not sure whether or not these athletes are coming out of their varsity 8s or whether it's a JV8 combination, but these are a high level of athlete moving these boats along. At 250 meters, your leader will come out of lane 1. That's Marin Rowing Association. They're sitting with a 4-seat lead over Marina Aquatic Center in second. Now in third, it's really between lanes 3, 4, 5, and 6, but the slight advantage for third place is going to go to lane 4, Newport Aquatic Center, but just by about a bow ball. I can hear the Capital coxswain calling, and it is a great call. She's just telling her crew, swing, swing, and just like Bob said, you've got to put your back into it and swing into this headwind in order to make that boat move. And right now, Marin doing a great job of just that as they pull themselves to about a stern advantage over Marina Aquatic Center. Now, the new third place position is going to go to lane 5, Pacific. So Pacific leading by a deck over both Oakland Strokes, Newport, and Capital. 100 meters gone, a little bit of gust of wind here coming from the starboard side. Marin making the best of it, rowing at a fairly low stroke rate, but with a lot of length and a lot of power. They've got the bucket rig in that 4, and now they're looking for a bit of open water, just shy of 750 meters. It is Marin out in front, followed by Marina Aquatic Center, and then Pacific solidly in that third place position. So Pacific moving themselves a little bit farther ahead of both Oakland, Newport, and Capital. Pacific making a really good charge here, and they've actually taken a couple of seats away from Marina Aquatic Center, and it looks like they're attempting to pull even with Marina for that second place position. Marina holding them off at 750 meters, but it's getting closer between Pacific and Marina for that silver medal position. Marin just doing their job up there in front, now with 2 seats of open water over the rest of the field. But the dogfight between Marina and Pacific is really heating up. as Marina attempts to hold off a really strong and good-looking crew from Pacific. They've left behind Oakland Strokes and Newport and Capital, but Capital in fourth. They're trying to challenge Oakland Strokes and see if they can move into a little bit of Oakland Strokes lead. So Oakland in fourth, Capital in fifth, Newport in sixth.
And the women's varsity 4 grand final coming at you now at the halfway markers. This is an event that qualifies for youth nationals. Top 3 boats get the automatic invite. As you heard Adrian call, Marin out in front now with 2 seats, open water over a very close second place Marina Aquatic Center crew. Pacific in third, down just by a bow ball from Marina. Both Pacific and Marina are looking behind them. On the outside, Pacific has to worry about Capital crew in lane 6. And for Marina, they've got to worry about lane number 3, the Oakland Strokes. On the backside, in the trailing position, is Newport. Newport in 6th place. Now, Marina has taken a little bit of a push. They're not really taking a power 10 or anything, but I see them swinging a lot harder to bow into the slight headwind. That's helping them get up a little bit on Pacific, but the threat now is that Oakland has their bow ball at the Pacific coxswain. So it's Marin, Marina, Pacific, Oakland. It's that close. Marina, Pacific, Oakland, as Oakland keeps slowly moving up on the Pacific boat and also moving away from Capital and Newport. I predict that by 1,500 meters, well, it's going to happen sooner. Oakland now overtaking Pacific by a quarter deck and moving into that third place position for the women's varsity 4s. It's now Marin, Marina, Oakland, Pacific, then back to Capital and finally Newport. These are the women's varsity 4s at 1,500 meters. Oakland and Pacific both chasing second place Marina. Oakland now up a full deck on Pacific. Pacific in 4th, trying hard to stay in contact with Oakland and get back that third place position. Capital on the outside is a full boat length of open water down from Pacific, and Newport bow to stern behind Capital. Newport in 6th. 350 meters to go. It's Marin. Marin looking golden here. Marina for the silver as they come into the last stretch. Oakland now pushing ahead a little bit more. They've got their stroke seat halfway on the bow deck of Pacific. It's Marin, Marina, Oakland, Pacific, Capital, Newport. So much on the line here. All these crews want to qualify for nationals. With 200 meters to go, with lots of open water, it's the women of Marin in command, in control, out in front, trying to bring home another gold for their program. Their women's varsity 8 won the gold. Now their varsity 4 wants to win it, and they're in a position to do it. Marina for the silver. Marina, a program that always sends 4s to nationals. Oakland for the bronze. Pacific chasing in 4th. Capital on the outside in 5th. And Newport in 6th as the women's varsity 4s now finish at the line.
And Marin will take home the gold medal for the women's varsity 4. Marina Aquatic Center silver. Oakland Strokes for the bronze. Our next race will be the women's Open 4 grand final.
All right, we are looking at a start in the Women's Open 4 Grand Final. This is a straight four, so again, just like the men, there is no coxswain in these boats. They're very light, very fast, but the steering mechanism is attached to the stroke seat's foot. So not only do you have to set the pace, but you have to also steer from that position. And right now we're listening to some steering corrections coming for some of the teams. You get all the excitement of the start and the high stroke rates. And right now, what I'm thinking is that Capital and Marin, who are your lanes 1 and 2 boats, are going to get the heck away from everything else that's happening behind them. So we're getting some steering calls coming from the officials for the other lanes, but Capital Crew and Marin doing a nice job pulling themselves free and clear of the rest of the field. So Capital with the lead, sitting 4 seats over Marin. Back to Marin by a little bit of open water. It's going to be NorCal. NorCal sitting in 3rd. Just them by a couple of seats. It will be Marina Aquatic Center. Marina Aquatic Center in 4th. And then Berkeley High in 5th. Oakland Strokes in 6th. And Artemis in 7th. So basically you find them in lane order. Little bit of a bobble just a few strokes ago out of the Marin boat. Not sure exactly what happened. A little bit of blade work issue. And that slowed them down a little bit. NorCal took advantage of that and has taken just a little bit of that lead away from Marin at 500 meters in. So Marin still in 2nd, but NorCal took a little bit of that lead away. So NorCal in 3rd, right behind them off of the stern deck, it's Marina Aquatic Center. Letting it settle down a little bit as we approach the first 750 meters gone. Capital Crew along the shoreline looking so calm and collected. They don't have anyone really quite near them as they have pulled themselves to a length of open water over Marin. Marin looking to pull free of NorCal, and they have done just that at 750 meters. So Marin in 2nd with about 2 seats of open water over NorCal. NorCal the same over Marina Aquatic Center. Berkeley High School continuing in 5th, followed by Oakland Strokes, and then Artemis in 7th. So we're looking at these crews, quite a bit of spread between 1st and 7th. Capital Crew looking very strong in lane 1. Lots of open water in between all crews, so there's no side-by-side action between any of these boats. They're kind of in their own relative space with open water on either side of each of the crews. Capital Crew coming to 1,000 meters to go with 1 length of open water between themselves and Marin. Marin the same distance between themselves and NorCal.
Well, Adrian, it sure is a beautiful sight here at Lake Nantoma right now, especially with the backdrop against the Sierra Nevada mountains with these huge thunderheads forming behind us over the Sierras. These beautiful women's crews here racing so well across 7 full lanes, and Capital, again, in the lead, out in front. This is a difficult boat to row, ladies and gentlemen. With no coxswain, one of the rowers has to steer via a cable mechanism, as you heard Adrian call, and that's not easy to do when you're putting full pressure into the footboards to drive your boat while also having to be light enough with your touch to steer. So really good effort here by all these crews steering. Now it continues to be Marin in the lead, Capital in the lead, followed by Marin, and then lane number 3, NorCal, in that 3rd place position. Marina Aquatic Center in that 4th place position. We then go back to High School, Oakland, and finally Artemis. The referee on the rear of the race with 3 teams from Berkeley, Oakland, and Artemis doing a little bit of steering calls to them to make sure they stay in their lanes, but so far no major problems. We'll give you the next call just past 1,500 meters. But again, the top three leaders are Capital, Marin, and NorCal in the women's Open 4, also known as the Straight 4, meaning there's no coxswain. All right, we're coming into the last 500 meters here. The three leaders remain unchanged. Marina Aquatic Center still in fourth. Berkeley and Oakland getting a little bit of steering from the referee, so there's no collision, but again, no major problems. The leader, Capital, way up front, being chased by Marin and NorCal for the bronze here in the women's Open 4. We're going to turn it over to the finish line early as this event comes to a finish. And as the referee has her hands full, keeping all the lanes, or all the boats in their lanes, we'll give it to you, Aaron and Tricia, at the finish line.
And Capital Crew will take the gold. Marin for the silver. And your bronze medal is for the NorCal women. Coming up, women's Novice 8 Grand Final.
And we'll pick up the women's Novice 8 Grand Final already in progress and past 250 meters in. In lane 1, Newport. Lane 2, Marin. Lane 3, Capital. Lane 4, Pacific. Lane 5, Marina Aquatic Center. And lane 6, NorCal. Early on here, your leader is going to come out of lane 2. That is Marin. They are the defending champion in this event, and they're looking good right now with a 6-seat lead over Newport. Newport rowing out of lane 1. Top two boats right there. Newport looking at a 7-seat lead over your third place crew, which is Capital. So Capital right down the center of the course in lane 3. They are your third place position. They're sitting with 3 seats over Marina Aquatic Center in lane 5, and Marina 2 seats over NorCal. Pacific is in your trailing position, but they're all still within contact. It's still very early on. At 500 meters in, there's a whole lot of overlap between boats. But what is clear is that Marin is on a mission. They are pulling up now to an 8-seat lead over Newport. Newport rowing out of lane 1. Newport coxswain looking across at the bow ball of that Capital boat and trying to get open water in the next few strokes. Great battle here heating up for that third place position between Capital and Marina Aquatic Center. Marina Aquatic Center always with very strong boats in the novice category, and right now they're showing that as they try to pull even with Capital and solidify a third place position, maybe even move up and challenge for a different color medal as we move forward. But Capital not letting them do that. Capital pushing themselves away, now sitting 3 seats over Marina Aquatic Center. Too close to call for me for 5th or 6th between Pacific and NorCal. But up in front, it is Marin. Marin's still with the lead, but that lead has shrunk a little bit as Newport puts on a big push here just past 750 meters. They've taken a couple of seats away from Marin's lead. Open water behind them, open water behind Newport. It's still really tight here between Capital and Marina Aquatic Center for that third place position. Marin getting a little bit of a boost from cheers coming from their teammates on the side of the shore. They're still holding off Newport, but it's getting closer at 1,000 meters. Marin with the lead, Newport chasing. Too close to call for me between Capital and Marina for third.
Well, Adrian, this is another good close race. Same for the novice men, now for the novice women, as these two boats in the lead, Marin and Newport, are in contact, but they're separated by a full boat length or more of open water from the rest of the pack. And right now, Marina Aquatic Center has a slight advantage, a 1 to 2 seat advantage over Capital for the bronze medal. So right now, back to the leader though, Newport making a big move. They are taking a power 10, maybe a power 20, and they are getting ahead of Marin. They are getting ahead of Marin. The water's a little bit rough, and remember, when the water's sloppy, or when the water's choppy, you can't be sloppy, and they're rowing very cleanly here as they get ahead of Marin and now take that gold medal position. So it's Newport, Marin, Marina Aquatic Center, back to 4th place Capital, then back inside to Pacific, and then NorCal. These are the women's top novice eights at 1,250 meters. The big move by Newport was very exciting to watch, as when they took on the power 20, they kept taking water every stroke, and even now back at race pace, they're still taking water from Marin. Newport now up 7 seats. Newport now up 8 seats. And they're still taking water. The Newport coxswain is even now with Marin's bow seat. Newport first across the line at 1,500. Marin in second. Falling back, it's going to be close, but it's still Marina over Capital for third. Pacific and NorCal too close to call for 5th and 6th. These are the top novice women's eights coming at you. 400 meters to go. Newport still on fire. They're still taking water. Their coxswain now ahead of the bow ball of Marin's boat. So Marin was hanging on, but now Newport just seems to have that extra reserve that's gotten them in front, and they're hanging tough. Newport, 8 seats over Marin. Marin, open water over Marina Aquatic Center. Marina, only a few seats over Capital. Capital, open water over 5th place Pacific. Pacific, a few seats over 6th place NorCal. The top 6 novice women's boats now approaching 200 meters to go with Newport in the lead. Newport wants the gold, Marin in the silver, but anything could happen here in the finish. But boy, does that Newport boat look strong. I think they've got it, Aaron and Tricia, as they come to the line, and Marina still hanging on for the bronze as they hold a charging Capital crew.
And crossing the finish line, your gold medal crew, Newport Aquatic Center. Marin for the silver. And Marina Aquatic Center taking home the bronze. Coming up will be the men's freshman Cox Quad Grand Final.
We have had a start in the grand final for the men's Frosh Quad. This is a Coxed event, and right now we're looking at 7 boats across in Lane 1, Brophy, Lane 2, Capital Crew, Lane 3, Los Gatos, Lane 4, Casitas, Lane 5, Marin, Lane 6, Artemis, and Lane 7, Lake Las Vegas. These quads have the advantage of having a coxswain steer for them, so we're definitely not going to see as many steering corrections coming out of the referees as we have seen in events prior to this. But what we're looking at is 4 boats that have pulled themselves up to a quick lead now with open water over the rest of the field. In the lead, it will be Lane 3, Los Gatos. Los Gatos looking at a couple of seats over Brophy in Lane 1 and Casitas in Lane 4. Just behind Casitas, it's going to be Capital Crew. Capital looking very strong there, and lots of overlap, lots of contact between these top 4 boats as they try to shake out a little bit and move away from each other at 500 meters in. Back behind Capital by about a length of open water, we'll find our 5th place boat, and that is Artemis. Artemis looking at a couple of seats over Marin. Marin just 2 seats over Lake Las Vegas. Lake Las Vegas, a fairly new program for the Southwest region, and doing a fine job here with these young oarsmen in the Frosh Quad. But back to the front, it will be Los Gatos with that strong lead, now bow to stern over Brophy. Brophy looking at 3 seats over Casitas. Capital Crew just behind Casitas, so it's sure to tighten up as we progress down the course. And indeed, Capital attempting to pull even with Casitas for that 3rd place position. Challenging conditions out here as there is quite a stiff headwind, so blade work is going to be important, stroke rate is going to be important, not to get too scrambled, but to really make sure that you've got a lot of swing and good blade placement, and Los Gatos doing a fine job exhibiting that as they have excellent blade work and timing. They've now pulled themselves up to almost a 1 seat of open water lead over Brophy. Brophy as well doing nice, pulling themselves a little bit farther away from our 3rd place crew, which is now Capital. Capital having overtaken Casitas for 3rd. As we know, quite a bit can change over the course of this 2K, and as they come to the line at 1,000 meters to go, we'll keep our eyes on that Casitas boat because they look feisty. They are not about to let the Capital boat get any further away from them, except a little bit of a bobble in the Casitas boat, a little bit of a crab. That's going to put them back a bit. As we come across 1,000 meters, Los Gatos just taking off there and pulling themselves away from Brophy. Capital continuing in 3rd, Casitas now in 4th.
right, ladies and gentlemen, here come some freshmen. True to the word, they are crazy, they are feisty, and they're doing a great job here coming down the course now. This Los Gatos Frosh 4 looking really strong here. Great body swing into the headwind, really creating that send in the boat into the headwind, which is helping them create momentum and run every stroke. So they've had that all the way down the course, and it's working really well for them. Brophy continues in second place. The top three boats are spreading out a little bit more now. So Los Gatos in first, Brophy in second, and Capital in third. You heard about that bobble with the Lake Casitas boat. That was just before the halfway line. It wasn't much. It was only about two-stroke bobble, but it cost a little bit of momentum. They're in fourth place now, ahead of the team from Artemis and Lake Las Vegas. So 7 boats on the course. Casitas in fourth, holding off Marin, Artemis, and Lake Las Vegas. Lake Las Vegas, one of the younger teams here in the league. The only team from Nevada. Place your bets on Lake Las Vegas here. They're going to keep growing, and they enter more and more boats every year. Great to see that. Now back to the leaders. Los Gatos has Brophy now in contact with them. They had open water at one point, but Brophy is moving up in the red jerseys to take on Los Gatos and potentially get into that first place position. In second place, Capital Crew, they're still looking off their starboard stern and trying to keep Casitas behind them, and they're doing so with 400 meters to go. But for the men's freshman coxed quads, so there is a coxswain in the boat, it's all about Gatos and Brophy right now. Brophy along the shore getting even closer to Los Gatos. This could get even tighter as it approaches the finish line. Los Gatos is staying true to their race plan of just a lot of swing, a lot of drive. It's paid off so well, but they've got to keep an eye on that Brophy boat in the red jerseys. Along the shore, Brophy charging now, and we're going to turn it over to the finish line. As at 200 meters to go, Brophy has come alive. They have come alive, and they're trying to work up and challenge Los Gatos. Capital holding on for the bronze. Casitas charging in fourth place, ahead of Marin, Artemis, and in seventh place, Lake Las Vegas. Aaron, Tricia, make the call. Will it be Brophy? Will it be Los Gatos for the men's freshman quads?
And the gold will go to Los Gatos, followed by silver to Brophy. And bronze will go to Capital Crew.
We've had a start in the grand final for the women's double. This is an event that progresses to the Youth National Championships later this spring in Sarasota, Florida. In this event last year, California Yacht Club was your champion. They went on to pull off a 5th place finish in the nation. In the 2nd place position in this event last year was Palo Alto, followed by Redwood Scullers. So those were your top 3 boats last year. And actually we find a very similar results right now. Of course, it's very early on, but your leader is going to come out of lane 2, Palo Alto. They are leading California Yacht Club just by a couple of inches, but just as I'm saying that, California Yacht Club has pulled even and is now moving through Palo Alto. Top 2 boats, they've raced each other probably all season and probably some of last year. So they're really going after each other, and they've pulled themselves up to an open water lead over the rest of the field. So Cal Yacht Club, Palo Alto, those are your top 2 boats. Back in 3rd, it's anyone's game for that 3rd place position between Redwood Scullers, Lake Casitas, and Channel Islands. Channel Islands, a brand new program. I believe this is their first year of competition. So really amazing to see them in a grand final. And right now, they're very competitive as they come up to challenge for a possible medal and get into a third place position. But Casitas doing a nice job holding them off. So Casitas in third, Channel Islands in fourth or fifth, too close to call between Redwood Scullers and Channel Islands. Back in sixth, it will be Newport Seabase. They are down by about 2 lengths of open water to the rest of the field. And I was getting some stroke rates here on the California Yacht Club boat. I have them clocked at 33 strokes a minute. Great blade work, lots of swing and length coming from that boat. 33 strokes a minute for them, slightly lower in the Palo Alto boat at 32. Both of those boats crossing over 750 meters gone, but California Yacht Club just patient and calm as they now have an open water lead over the sisters, the Ulitsky sisters from Palo Alto. 1 length of open water back. It is Casitas in the third place position. They're still holding off a really good charge here from Channel Islands. Channel Islands sitting just off of the stern deck of that Casitas boat. So this is really going to be fun to watch as we move into the third 500. Let's see whose fitness can really kick into gear in that third 500. And as we progress down the course all the way to the finish line, as we know, lots can change between now and then. In fifth, it is Redwood Scullers. They are sitting just off of the stern deck of Channel Islands boat. And then back to them by a couple lengths of open water, Newport Seabase continuing in sixth. So they're doing well, rowing a straight course, just not quite able to match the speed of these other boats out in front. But Cal Yacht Club really putting on a show here at the halfway point, now with 2 lengths of open water between themselves and Palo Alto. Palo Alto about the same over Casitas. Casitas inching themselves just a little bit farther away from both Channel Islands and Redwood Scullers.
The women's lightweight double grand final, or excuse me, the women's double grand final, now just past the halfway markers. As you heard Adrian call, this boat from Cal Yacht Club making super work here of this lake, just out in front now by over 2 boat lengths of open water over the second place boat from Palo Alto Rowing Club. So Palo Alto Rowing Club with a comfortable open water advantage over third place Lake Casitas. Now, Lake Casitas, looking off their port and starboard stern deck, has 2 challengers. On starboard side, as you heard Adrian call, Channel Islands, a brand new program here in the league, and here they are in the grand final. So we welcome them, and we are happy to see another team in this region. Redwood Scullers on the port side of Lake Casitas, they're down about a seat open water as both Channel Islands and Redwood Scullers pace one another, facing third place Lake Casitas. In the trailing position, Newport Seabase in lane 6. They are back by about several boat lengths of open water in that last spot. Now back to the front, the leader, Cal Yacht Club. Boy, are these 2 young women making this look easy. They are out in front by an ever-growing amount of open water, and just now they are crossing the 1,500-meter line all by themselves. We will wait for the next boat. And there goes Palo Alto across 1,500 meters. As you can hear, there's a lot of gap between the boats, a lot of open water. Still waiting for that third place crew. And here they go. Lake Casitas in third across the line, with Redwood Scullers now moving up and putting their bow ball at the stroke seat of Lake Casitas. In the lead, Cal Yacht Club. In second place, Palo Alto. And in third place, Lake Casitas, with the Redwood Scullers now pushing away from Channel Islands and threatening Lake Casitas for that third position. And Redwood Scullers charging now. There they go. They've taken the rate up. They're pushing hard, and they are almost pulling even. It's getting closer and closer between Lake Casitas and Redwood Scullers. They're down only by half a deck now. Redwood Scullers in a position now to get that bronze medal and another invite to Youth Nationals. And that's it. They've pulled even. Redwood Scullers now even with Lake Casitas at 300 to go. It's Cal Yacht Club, Palo Alto, and it could be Casitas or Redwood Scullers at the finish line for the bronze. Channel Islands in 5th. And Newport in 6th. As the women's doubles come to the line, Aaron and Tricia make the call, but right now Redwood Scullers moving up ahead of Lake Casitas into the bronze medal position as the women's doubles come to the finish line. Cal Yacht Club for the gold, Palo Alto for the silver.
And the gold women for the women's double grand final, California Yacht Club. Silver to Palo Alto. And bronze to the Redwood Scullers. Coming up, the men's lightweight 8 grand final.
And we're going to pick up the grand final of the men's lightweight 8, currently at 250 meters. We've got 6 boats across, and this is one of the best races at this championship. The Southwest region always representing on the national stage at a very high level. And indeed, last year Newport was the champion in this event. Their B boat was the bronze medalist, and Oakland Strokes was the silver medalist. Oakland Strokes went on to win the national championship in this event. So we're going to see a lot of guts and glory out here on the race course. And as we approach 500 meters, it is Newport in lane 1 as your early leader. They are sitting with a 5-seat lead over Oakland Strokes in lane 4. Oakland sitting 2 seats over both Marin and Newport B. Top 4 boats right there. Back to them by a few seats. It will be your 5th place crew, Capital Crew. They're sitting 3 seats over NorCal. Strokes a minute for Newport. As we approach the first 750 meters gone, they are staying calm and relaxed as they continue to tick away and move just a little bit farther away from the pack. But Oakland Strokes in lane 4, they are doing a nice job trying to shake free of both Marin and Newport B. But it is so tight here between Oakland and Marin for that 2nd or 3rd place position. Newport B right there with them. Just a couple of seats separating 2nd, 3rd, and 4th. Now back by open water in 5th, it's a dogfight between Capital and NorCal. Too close for me to call. And now here we go, just shy of 1,000 meters in. Newport continuing to hold on to a lead now by 6 seats, and it is Marin that's pushed themselves into that 2nd place position. Marin in 2nd, 3 seats over Oakland. Oakland 1 seat over Newport B. NorCal in 5th, Capital Crew in 6th. Newport extending their lead now. Newport A by 1 full length, holding off Marin. Marin continuing to inch a little bit farther away from Oakland, but with Newport B almost even with Oakland.
Well, thank you, Adrian, for that early call in the men's lightweight 8 event. All these rowers weighing a maximum of 150 pounds, so they're maxed out, and the racing is always tight like this in the men's lightweight 8. In the lead, Newport, lane 1 at 35 strokes a minute. Marin at 2nd place at 37 strokes per minute. Right behind them, another Newport boat in 3rd, So Newport has two boats in a medaling position right now. Hot on Newport's heels, Oakland. As you heard, Oakland last year won this event at the Nationals level. So Oakland's got something to defend here as they come down the course. Behind Oakland, we've got the remaining two teams, NorCal and Capital. And ladies and gentlemen, five of these lanes have gone to Nationals and medaled in this event. So you're looking at the who's who of men's lightweight 8 programs. Newport Aquatic Center continues their push to extend their dominant lead here over Marin. Has their hands full. Newport on either side of them challenging for the lightweight 8 medals. Oakland has their bow ball. Fourth place Oakland has their bow ball at the Newport B boat 3-seat. And they're trying to move up and get that bronze medal. But Newport B keeps holding them off. NorCal chasing Oakland from a bow to stern disadvantage, and off the backside by 2 boat lengths of open water, Capital Crew. 500 meters to go for the men's lightweight 8s. Newport, Marin, Newport B, Oakland, NorCal, Capital. Newport A continuing to push and get up on Marin. Newport has their coxswain just ahead of the Marin bow ball. Marin now just breaking free of Newport B. Newport B working away from Oakland. Working away from Oakland, the defending national champion. 2 Newport boats here looking at a possible ticket to Youth Nationals with Marin in the middle. It's Newport, Marin, Newport. As we come into the last 300 meters, Oakland chasing in fourth. NorCal, who's also medaled in this event at Youth Nationals, chasing in 5th place. Capital trailing in 6th. That Newport boat is on fire. They are taking water. They have not given any water back to Marin. Not 1 inch. And they're still taking it. They're going to bring it to the line. Their brother boat behind Marin's also going to bring it to the line. And you're going to see 2 Newport boats getting medals here, with Marin for the silver and Oakland chasing, with NorCal coming alive now at the end. Men's lightweight 8s now finishing, and it's all about Newport.
Newport Aquatic Center really dominating this event. Newport Aquatic Center with the gold. Marin Rowing Association with the silver. And the second boat from Newport with the bronze. A total domination by Newport Aquatic Center here in the men's lightweight 8 event, and defending champions for this event. That was the finish for the men's lightweight 8 grand final.
Coming up on the final 3 races of the day for this championship event. Next up, the men's double grand final. In lane 1, Redwood Scullers A. Lane 2, Oakland Athletic Rowing Society. Lane 3, Redwood Scullers B. Lane 4, California Yacht Club. Lane 5, Berkeley High School. And lane 6, Redwood Scullers C. All right, and we have had a start here, getting a little bit of course corrections from the officials, and I won't lie, it's a little bit challenging up here at the start in terms of the wind. It's a pretty gusty environment, But all these guys at a very high level of rowing, it's definitely not something that they can't deal with, but we are seeing a little bit of adjustments being made as the crews move through their starting sequence. So already very early on and just at 250 meters in, we're seeing quite a bit of separation amongst boats. Right now your leader is going to come out of lane 1, that's Redwood Scullers. So as you heard earlier when I called the lanes, Redwood Scullers has 3 entries in this event. 3 entries in a grand final in the men's double, and that's just amazing. A testament to the depth and expertise of the sculling program at Redwood Scullers. So lane 1, Redwood Scullers with a 1 boat length of open water lead over lane 2, Oakland Athletic Rowing Society. In the 3rd place position, just stern deck of oars, it will be California Yacht Club. This event last year, Redwood Scullers was the gold medal winner, followed by California Yacht Club in the silver medal position. At 500 meters, the A boat from Redwood Scullers first across the line, separating themselves out by quite a bit of open water. Oars behind them trying to hold off California Yacht Club, and then just off of the stern deck of California Yacht Club, it's Berkeley High School. Berkeley High School pushing their bow ball a little bit further in to California Yacht Club's lead. In the 5th place position, we'll move over back to the inside. That's the B boat from Redwood Scullers. They have a slight lead on their teammates in lane 6, Redwood Scullers C. Right now, it is all about that A boat from Redwood Scullers. They practice in the port of Redwood City. They've got challenging conditions all day long, so this is nothing for them. This little bit of gust of wind on Lake Natoma, this is an easy day for them on the port of Redwood City, and they're just really making a show of it here as they continue to extend their lead at 750 meters, now with about 3 lengths of open water. But behind them, that's really where the tight racing is going on. Oars is looking at their lead shrinking. They're still in 2nd, but now they're holding off California Yacht Club and Berkeley High School. Those boats almost even with each other. Back behind Berkeley High by a little bit of open water, it's Redwood B, followed by Redwood C. We come to the halfway point. Redwood Scullers A, just way out there in front, looking very comfortable, but definitely aggressive. So they're not leaving anything on the table as they push towards that gold medal. We've really got to watch the progress of oars holding off Cal Yacht Club and Berkeley High School, because right now those 3 boats so close to each other, I can't really make the call. I'll turn it over to Bob at the halfway point.
Well, Adrian, you are so right. This is a 3-boat race for the silver and bronze medal between Berkeley, Oakland Athletic Rowing Society, and lane number 4, Newport Aquatic Center. The 2 remaining boats from Redwood Scullers, their secondary boats, that's in lane 3 and lane 6, they continue to fall off the pace from this middle pack of boats. Now, just as I said that, the Oakland Athletic Rowing Society, lane number 2, they have moved up ahead by 2 seats ahead of Berkeley. Berkeley up 2 seats over California Yacht Club. So Cal Yacht Club has a contact with Berkeley. Berkeley, though, trying to stay ahead of them and get that 3rd qualifying position for Youth Nationals, as well as the bronze medal. Out in front, really showing how dominant they are here, the Redwood A boat. And again, folks, they have 3 boats here in this grand final. The Redwood Scullers A boat is ahead by almost 100 meters of open water. So if you're coaching for the Redwood Scullers, I would be pretty relaxed right now, because you're in a great position approaching 500 meters to go. Now, the Oakland Athletic Rowing Society continues to take water. They're up now about almost 4 seats over Berkeley High School. Berkeley has managed to get another seat from Cal Yacht Club. So it's Redwood Scullers A, Oakland Athletic Rowing Society, Berkeley High School, Cal Yacht Club, then Redwood Scullers B chasing in 5th. Redwood Scullers B now is in contact with Cal Yacht Club. and it appears that they're going after Berkeley as well. Oakland Athletic Rowing Society staying long and smooth here. They're holding on to a 4-seat advantage over Berkeley. Berkeley holding on to now only a 2-seat advantage over Cal Yacht Club, as Cal Yacht Club starts putting on a little more pressure to get away from the Redwood Scullers B boat and pull back in Berkeley. Oakland Athletics continue in silver medal position. Redwood Scullers A boat way out in front. That's why they're the A boat, because they're way out in front. Berkeley High School for that bronze medal still holding off Cal Yacht Club. Cal Yacht Club now holding off Redwood Scullers B, and Redwood Scullers C trailing in 6th. These are the men's doubles coming to the line. Top 3 boats go to Youth Nationals. It's Redwood A, Oakland Athletic Rowing Society, Berkeley High School, the oldest public high school rowing program west of the Mississippi, in a race for their lives now against Cal Yacht Club. 200 meters to go. It's still Berkeley. Berkeley Cal Yacht Club chasing Oakland Athletics. It's Redwood Scullers for the gold. They're going to have it pretty easy here, but look at this race between Berkeley and Cal Yacht Club. Berkeley with the yellow blades, Cal Yacht Club with the blue.
Last 2 races of the day coming at you. Next up, it's going to be the grand final for the women's Frosh Quad. This is a Coxed Quad event. 7 boats on the water. In lane 1, Long Beach Junior Crew. Lane 2, Newport Seabase. Lane 3, Redwood Scullers. Lane 4, Newport Aquatic Center. Lane 5, Artemis. Lane 6, Berkeley High School. And Lane 7, Tempe Town Lake. And here we go, just past the breakage point here in the grand final of the women's Frosh Coxed Quad. With 7 boats across, there is a lot of action. There's a lot of noise coming out of the coxswains. It's very intense here as we approach the first 250 meters down. Not a whole lot of separation between boats, but our leader, very early on and just by a hair, is going to be coming out of lane 1. That's Long Beach Juniors. They have about a 1-seat advantage over Newport Seabase right next to them. Newport Seabase sitting in 2nd. They have 4 seats over Redwood Scullers in lane 3, Artemis in lane 5. So very close here between Redwood Scullers and Artemis for that 3rd place position. Back in 5th, it will be Newport rowing out of lane 4. They're in the 5th place position, sitting a couple of seats over Berkeley High School, and then Tempe Town Lake in 7th. As the rates settle down and the crews come out of their starting sequences and really settle into the body of their piece, It is Long Beach doing a great job against the shoreline, now with 4 seats over Newport Seabase. Long Beach clocked at 36 strokes a minute. Newport Seabase also at 36. And it is Long Beach with their bow first across the 500-meter mark in the lead position. Newport Seabase in second, with Redwood Scullers sitting just a couple of seats behind Newport Seabase for third. In fourth, it will be Artemis. Artemis doing a nice job still within contact of Redwood Scullers. Quite a bit to go before that halfway point, and as the crews again really settle into the body of their race, we're seeing a little bit more separation between boats. And just as I'm saying that, Redwood Scullers has taken a big surge and pushed themselves into the second place position. So Redwood Scullers overtaking Newport Seabase for second. Artemis still in fourth, sitting bow to stern over Newport and Berkeley High School. Berkeley High is sitting bow to stern over Tempe Town Lake. At 750 meters gone, Long Beach looking for a little bit of open water. Again, this is a coxed sculling event, but the coxswain is in the bow of the boat, so they have to be very, very smart in order to figure out what's going on behind them. And that Long Beach coxswain, I can see her sitting up just slightly to make sure she keeps apprised of what's happening behind her. But she's urging her crew on and asking for open water before that halfway point, and they've got it. Long Beach Junior with a little bit of open water over Redwood Scullers and Newport Seabase. But really good racing here between the second and third place crews, Redwood Scullers and Newport Seabase. They are pushing themselves now out with open water over Artemis. Artemis still holding on to fourth, now by 4 seats over Newport Aquatic Center. Newport holding on to fifth, 4 seats over Berkeley High School, Berkeley High in sixth. Tempe Town Lake off just a little bit by open water in the 7th place position. And let's remember that these are freshmen, none of these athletes older than 9th grade. This is the future of the sport of rowing in the Southwest region.
Well, Adrian, I couldn't agree with you more. This is This is the future of rowing for these varsity programs, and they're handling the water conditions nicely here. A little bit of chop, but a lot of swing for the bling out here as these women's freshman quads come to the line or move towards the line and try to bring home another medal for their programs. Now, the Redwood Scullers, you heard they made a push earlier on, and now they're in that solid second place position as they put behind them Newport Seabase. Newport Seabase still in a medaling position for third place. They are ahead of fourth place Artemis. Artemis rowing out of lane 5. The Artemis women down about 1 or 2 seats open water from Newport Seabase. So for novice racing, that's not a lot of separation. A lot can happen in the next 750 meters. Newport Aquatic Center and Berkeley High School, they're locked in a close race for that 5th and 6th place position. And then finally, Tempe Town Lake, Tempe, Arizona, in lane 7. They're in 7th place, rowing very cleanly. Nice sharp blade work coming from their boat, but just not matching the speed of some of these boats in front of them, but still rowing very well. Now the Redwood Scullers continue to charge down the lake. They're slowly sneaking up on that lead boat from Long Beach. Long Beach in lane 1 with the yellow unisuits. Redwood Scullers at 1,500 meters keep chipping away at their lead, and they are getting closer and closer with 500 meters to go. It could turn into a very close race for the gold medal. Newport Seabase continues in the bronze medal position with 500 meters to go. Artemis chasing in 4th. Artemis not having much luck yet, chasing down that boat from Newport Seabase, as the Newport Seabase boat has stayed long and consistent with their stroke, holding off any challenges. Newport Aquatic Center and Berkeley High School still side by side on the back end and trailing Tempe Town Lake. Redwood Scholars in contact with Long Beach at 350 meters to go. Long Beach still in the lead, holding off the challenge, but Redwood Scholars keep taking water, and now they're coming alive as we come into the last 300 meters. But so is Long Beach, and Long Beach now really taking off as they go for the line and try to bring home a gold medal for their program. Newport Seabase for the bronze. Artemis in fourth, Newport now in fifth, Berkeley in sixth, Tempe Town Lake in seventh, as the women's freshman quads come into the last 200 meters with Redwood Scholars down 4 seats from Long Beach. Redwood Scholars has their bow seat at the Long Beach stroke seat. Now they're taking more. Now the bow seat's a 3 seat. Now the bow seat's a 2 seat. Redwood Scholars coming alive. Redwood Scholars now in the lead just by a quarter deck. It's a photo finish for the gold. Women's freshman quads, Newport Seabase for the bronze. What a finish.
That was the finish for the women's freshman Coxed Quad Grand Final. Unofficially, Long Beach Juniors for the gold, Redwood Scholars for the silver, and Newport Seabase for the bronze. That was the finish of the women's Frosh Coxed Quad. We have one more final race left for the 2019 Southwest Youth Championships, and that will be the women's lightweight 8 grand final, now underway.
We're already well past 500 meters in to the final race of the afternoon. This is the grand final of the women's lightweight 8. Again, this race will progress to the Youth National Championships for the top 3 finishers. The lane assignments are as follows: Marin, Newport, Capital, Oakland Strokes, San Diego, and Long Beach Juniors. And that is almost exactly the way that you will find them. Marin is your leader, rowing out of lane 1, sitting 1 full boat length over Newport and Capital, with Oakland Strokes in 4th. So very tight right now between Newport and Capital, maybe just about a seat separating them for that 2nd or 3rd place position. Slight advantage right now going to Capital Crew, rowing out of lane 3. So indeed, Capital has pushed themselves into the 2nd place position. They now are sitting with 3 seats over Newport, and Newport sitting 3 seats over Oakland Strokes. In this event last year, Oakland Strokes was your gold medalist. They went on to take 2nd at the Youth National Championships. Marin was 2nd at this event and went on to take a bronze at Youth. So again, there is a lot of depth and expertise in this lightweight 8 category. And right now, Marin doing a fine job pushing themselves a little bit farther away from the pack as they pull up to an 8-seat advantage over Capital Crew. Capital looking very strong and feisty here as they really try to hold on to Marin and not let them pull clear. Capital Crew in 2nd, 6 seats over Newport. Newport 3 seats over Oakland Strokes. .37 strokes a minute for Marin. As they come to the final 750 meters, I can see that coxswain looking across at the bow ball of the Capital boat, asking to pull clear of Capital, but Capital holding tight. Capital still the same relative speed behind Marin at 750 meters in. But Capital pushing themselves so hard they now have 7 seats over Newport. Newport now 5 seats over Oakland. San Diego continuing in 5th. Long Beach Juniors in 7th. Lots of open water on either side of those crews. But the pack, these 4 boats, Marin, Capital, Newport, or Marin, Capital, Oakland, and Newport, all still within contact to each other. Capital crew just took up the stroke rate, 38 strokes a minute for them. And now Marin responding with 500 meters to go. They do now have open water, 2 seats of open water for Marin as they come into the final 500 meters. Capital right behind them trying to pull clear of Newport. Capital sitting 7 seats over Newport. Newport 7 seats over Oakland. Here they come. It is Marin. They're coming right into the spectator area, right past their tents. We're hearing a lot of spirit coming for the Marin Rowing Association as they continue to open up their open water lead. Capital crew right behind them, holding off Newport in that silver medal position. Can they do it all the way to the line? Newport holding off Oakland. San Diego continuing in 5th. Long Beach Juniors in 6th. But man, this Marin crew looking hot here along the shoreline. Final 250 meters for them in the final race of the day. It's going to be 1 boat length of open water for Marin. Capital crew holding on to the silver medal, still 7 seats over Newport. Newport bringing up the rate.
And crossing the finish line in the gold medal position, Marin. Your silver medalist will be Capital Crew and Newport for the bronze.
Ladies and gentlemen,